Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, everybody. This is Bill Allen. I'm sitting in for Winston Chester this morning and here on Panhandle Outdoors. We'll talk about Winston in just a second, though. Let's get to our weather first, brought to us by Haney Technical Center. You know, those folks do a great job out there. Give them a call. You can turn a job into a career with them. Temperature today is 62 right now. High expected is 87 with a low tonight again, 62, 63. Good news, water temperature is coming down this time of year, so it's getting really exciting, but it's about 80 degrees out there. Boating forecast for today, winds east-northeast at 10 to 12, turning east this afternoon. And, you know, I got up this morning and looked out the back. It's blowing to 10 to 12 right now. So protected waters are going to have a moderate chop. And, you know, as always, you can find a place to fish. Just head toward where the wind's coming from, and eventually you'll find some smooth water out there. Seas today, 3 to 4 offshore. River readings, Apalachicola at Bluntstown is 0.9. You know, there's just not a lot of water down there. We've talked about this one every time we've been on, but it's low. Be careful when you're running around. We had a little spike over the weekend, but it's dropped down again significantly. And then the Choctawhatchee at Caryville is 0.3. Again, a lot of stumps. Be very careful out there when you're running around. Good time to find fish if you can find a hole. Carl Vernon Marine Specialties tide chart. Low this morning. Low today is at 3:35 this afternoon. The good news is the high is right now, so you got a good strong falling tide, and you know, it should produce a pretty good fishing. St. Joe, about the same thing this afternoon. 3:40 is your low with a 5:58 high tide this morning. That's going to do it for the weather. We're going to take a break and come back and talk a little bit about floundering.
Panama City living is simply better without glasses. The Eye Center of North Florida offers the most advanced cataract surgery using lifestyle lens implants, which allow you to see all distances glasses-free. Our surgeons perform this quick and painless procedure at our accredited surgery center. When it comes to your vision, trust your local experts in surgical eye care. The Eye Center of North Florida.
9 doctors, 1 vision, yours.
Hi, I'm Paul Flagg with Professional Fiberglass and Marine Service. We offer all types of boat repair, fiberglass work, bottom painting, detailing, buffing. If your gel coat's looking dull, we can get that boat looking good for you again. We also offer a pickup and delivery service, and we have trailers that you can use if we are going to work on your boat, and we can come and get your boat for you. We can be reached at 850-960-9054, or you can reach us on the web at profiberglassmarine.com.
We are so lucky to live in North Florida. We have some of the best fresh and saltwater fishing in the world. My biggest problem is not catching fish, but trying to decide what kind of fish I want to catch. No matter what I'm after, I always stop at Sunjammers Water Sports first. They have just what I need: rods and reels, line, tackle, and most important, live bait. Yes, sir, we sure are lucky.
Bill Kramer Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC is Panama City's exclusive full-line dealership, built on a 45-year foundation of trust and total customer satisfaction in all departments, including our huge pre-owned department, where we'll pay top dollar for your current automobile as a trade-in, or we'll place your vehicle on our lot and help you sell it. At Bill Kramer Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC, 4 decades, 3 generations, 1 tradition.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look real quick at the express lane fishing game forecast for today. The prime time is 8:35 this morning to 10:35, and then this afternoon, or this evening, really, from, let's call it 9 to 11 p.m. But express lane, American owned and operated, the Lewis family do a great job right here in Panama City. let me take just a minute and tell you why I'm here today and you're having to put up with me. Winston called me last night, as I think he's mentioned on the show. I know he has his wife, Gail. Her father is in Tallahassee and actually was not expected to make it through the night. So they're over there with family. And he called last minute, so we'll do the best we can to put together a decent show for you and try to make some of this informative, and I'm sure it'll probably be entertaining as well. But Winston's been starting to do a series on floundering because it's that time of year. Things are getting right. Water temperature is going down. The flounder migration is going to start out to the Gulf, so they're moving around. And the guys that I talk to who flounder fish all the time, they're starting to pick up some nice flounder. And so haven't really talked to anybody yet that's been out actually floundering with the gig, but it's getting time. And I would have gone this past weekend, except we had like a 25, 30 knot wind blowing for the whole weekend. But one of the things, it's great and it's fun. It's a beautiful bay to be on, and it's wonderful being out there at night, but you have to really be careful. You have to take your precautions when you're going out there. If you've got fortunate enough to have a small boat that's got a GPS on it, or you take a handheld GPS with you, you need to know where you are and where you're going at all times. And I can't tell you how many times I've been out there 10 or 11 o'clock at night and you hear a motor and some guys running by without any running lights on at all. So make sure your lights are working before you go out there. Have a spotlight with you to be able to spot the buoys, to be able to spot people who are running around that don't have lights on, or just anything else that might be out there. Now, in my experience, and I went through a phase, I bought 2 or 3 different of these rechargeable spotlights, and they're a wonderful thing if you're only going to use them 4 or 5 minutes. They just don't have a lot of shelf life to them. And so I've gone back to the spotlights that you can buy that have most of them have a cigarette lighter plug in them. And if your boat's not equipped with that, this is a simple thing that you can pick up at any marine store. And you just basically plug the cigarette lighter portion into here and then hook this up to your battery. And usually I take 2 batteries because some of these lights that we use, they draw down a lot of energy, and so last thing you want is to run out of light while you're floundering, because you're not going to do much good after that. But this is a simple thing that you can get, and use that handheld is very important. Flashlight's not going to get it done, and if you run out of juice on a rechargeable, you can be in a world of hurt out there in a hurry. It should go without saying that when you're running around there at night, you need to have your life jacket on. Everybody in the boat needs to have a life jacket on, as well as utilize the kill switch that's on that motor, guys. You drop off that boat at night for whatever reason, an unexpected wave, a sudden move by somebody, you're going to be in a world of hurt with that motor running around and you in the water with basically no way to signal anybody. So, take some time, get ready to go, use some precautions before you go out on the water, just so that you have everything necessary that's with you, or everything you need with you. So I didn't have time to run by and get any of the gigs this morning. I know Winston has talked about them, and of course the stainless steel, either 3-prong or 4-prong gigs, are a little more expensive, but they're going to last forever. And you can buy the regular steel ones. You have to keep washing them off just like you do your rods and reels. But you're only going to get 2 or 3 seasons out of that, maybe with salt water on them all the time. So and just talking about those gigs, I used to use those 1-inch dowels, 8 or 9 feet long. And they're heavy, and I was always afraid of using the bamboo, but I started using those heavy bamboo poles with the fixture on them to be able to put the gig on them. They're lighter, they're easier to maneuver around, and you're not out there like you're paddling. You want to move slow when you're floundering and when you're looking for these flounder laying still, because they are a little bit spooky. But the flexibility too helps you. Once you gig them, you're able to bend that a little bit and slide that flounder up, pick him up out of the water. So That being said, we're going to talk about lights when you come by, and the one that I put when you come back, and one that I put together. And again, just a suggestion. We'll see if it's something you can use. But let's go take our first break right now, and then we'll be back with the lights.
Panama City Beach is known as one of the top dive destinations in Florida. Divers Den offers daily dive charters that can accommodate up to 13 divers. Our boat captain is U.S. Coast Guard certified and a PADI dive instructor. We have trained professionals who offer a variety of scuba certifications. Come see us at our 2 locations on Thomas Drive and Tyndall Parkway.
On down to Blue Water Outrigger, where you'll always find friendly service, fresh and saltwater fishing rods, top of the line men's and women's apparel. Don't forget to pick up your live baits and let us help you with all your outdoor needs. Check out our wide selection of top quality reels and hunting necessities and everything in between. Come see us or order online. We'll be waiting for you right next door to Piggly Wiggly, Port St. Joe.
Harold Milling Company, rough and tough dog food. Harold Milling Company builds it. They build hog feed. They build dairy feed. They make chicken feed. They have specialty feeds for rabbits. If you got a worm farm, grandmother used to have a worm farm. Look at the Harold Milling Company. You want to go down and get you, the dog's not running anymore. It's all over with. You want to get that 16% and drop down from the 26% protein. You don't want over to get fat. Harold Milling Company, you can buy at almost any feed store in the Panama City area.
Captain's Cove Marina, designed with fishermen in mind. Easy access to the best fishing along Florida's Forgotten Coast. Deep sea fishing, fly fishing from a kayak, cruising endless miles of bayous, bays, and the intercoastal waterway. Count on the captain's crew to work hard to make your day on the water the best ever. Captain's Cove Marina, 1617 Grouper Avenue, Port St. Joe, 850-227-3357.
Welcome back, guys. You know, you saw the light system that Winston put together the flounder with, and I'm sure there's as many different lights out there as there are people doing it. And through years of research and development, I've put this monstrosity together. But what I've done here is, I don't know if Jeff's going to have a hard time getting all this on, but the lights on the end of this are those little drop lights that you can buy pretty much at any tackle store, anywhere, any marine shop. And what the thing that I always was frustrated with when I was floundering is you know, you had these nice lights, but they were only at best 2 or 3 feet in front of your boat. Well, that means that about 30 or 40% of your light is under your boat or behind you, which doesn't really do you any good. So I played around, Bill Shields and I played around with a lot of ways to try to do this, and the most efficient way that we came up with, and a lightweight way, is to put this little unit together here. Now you can see I've got two lights out on the end of mine, and what you see that they're run through is just, we literally went to Hobby Lobby and got some of that foam there to be able to give a little flotation to the lights. Now the rest of this is just a very lightweight PVC that we use the PVC cement to put them together with. But you know, I ran both of the lights up through here and then down here to the other end, and the first thing we did was made a mistake with this. We put the connection where I put the 2 lights together, it was up in here somewhere, and then realizing, you know, this is salt water, so that's not going to work that well. When it does corrode out, it's not going to be of any use to us. We're going to have to take the whole thing apart. So thankfully, before we sewed it up or glued it up, we realized that and went ahead and brought it out and you know, put it together here and got a couple of the stainless steel hooks to be able to hook it to the battery. But now this end, what I do with this is I put a plate on the boat, and just a heavy-duty fiberglass that I had gotten, and was able to secure it to the front of the boat using C-clamps. You know, if you want to go a little bit further, you can attach it with stainless steel and then take it back off, but that's depending on how many holes you want to put in your boat. But on top of that, I just simply screwed a couple of stainless steel hose clamps on there. So this end, I slide into the hose clamp here and slide into the hose clamp here, so it literally rotates up and down. So you pull it up out of the water and it's sitting upside down with the lights. But when you put this down, I think I put 5 feet on this is what I've got. When it's down, you've got the lights that you have are now 5 feet in front of the boat. So it gives you a good light spread. You've probably got 10 or 15% of the light now that's under the boat. And I use 2 lights, and I put those 4 feet apart. So they both go out and just drop down. I mean, this stuff, obviously, you can pick up anywhere. You want to get the lightest PVC that you can get a hold of, and to be able to do this. But it floats nicely. There's not a lot of weight to it. It's easy when you're running to pull back up. But again, it gets the light out in front of the boat, and you got a nice spread with it being 4 feet apart as opposed to just having that one light out there. And when you're floundering, I mean, it's a pretty easy thing to do. You just need to find a place where, if you can be out of the wind, where you've got some smooth water. And we've stuck those flounder with their noses just literally up on the hill. Sometimes they're out in 2 or 3 foot of water. So a lot of what we like to do is, rather than just get there and go straight down the beach in a foot of water or something like that, if you've got a boat that'll go that shallow and then turn around and try to come back out deeper, is to use more of a zigzag pattern. We'll move in and out from the shallow water to the drop off, trying to spot those flounder. And I can't stress enough, you need to move slowly. You need to be quiet in the boat. Don't be banging things around and stomping where you're standing. So, just move slowly. Look on the outside edges of the light. Don't look straight down. That's hardly ever where you're going to find them. You're going to see them on the edges of the light where it's just a shadow or... and I tried to keep up with it one time, and it seemed like when there was a big, bright, full moon, what you had to look for was the flounder would settle in. They would literally cover with sand. So you're looking for an outline, or you're looking for just the eyes. And then if you were there on a dark night, it seemed, as I tried to keep up with it, that the flounder would sit more on top. They didn't bury up so much, because they felt like, they didn't need to hide as bad. So anyway, sometimes you have to look for the outline, just look for the eyes. Now, again, there's a little bit of water difference there, a little reflection when you're looking down at it, especially if it's out from you. You want to try to hit them, right behind the head, hit them right in the gill plate with those 3 prongs or those 5 prongs as you're doing it. And to do that, you got to aim a little low. And if you're right on top of them, if you're fortunate enough to get right on top of them, then it's not quite so bad. But if they're out a little bit, you want to aim just a little bit low as you're going through the water there, because there's going to be just a little bit of difference. It's like bow hunting from a tree. You got that angle there, so you have to deal with it. But once you get them, take your time. Especially the big flounder, you need to hold them down and make sure that you've got a good set, that you're all the way through, and don't pick it straight up. I've seen so many people the first time out that they're fortunate enough to get one, and then they try to pick him straight up. Well, it's a flat fish. If the prongs are straight through him and you pick it up, there's a good chance that he's going to flop off or pull off, because they don't give up once they've been stuck, I can promise you. So the most effective thing that we found, and this is where that bamboo pole that's got a little flexibility to it, we just try to turn it sideways with his head pointed towards the back of the boat, and then, just slide forward a little bit and pick him up where you're bringing the fish out of the water head first, if you will, and get him in the boat just as quickly as possible, because again, they don't give up and they don't just drop dead because you stick them. You still have quite a bit to deal with once you've got him in the boat. But anyway, just some tips on floundering, some things that I've found over the years, really mistakes that I've made over the years. So let's take our break, and we'll be right back with some more tips.
It's Kubota Summertime Deal Days at Soul Tractor, and Kubota finance offers are heating up.
Right now, we have long-term finance rates for qualified buyers.
We have the deals you've been waiting for on new Kubota compact track loaders.
Come take a look at our new Kubota compact track loaders and excavators today.
Hurry to Soul Tractor's Kubota Summertime Deal Days and get your best deal on a new Kubota today while the sun shines.
On the water or under the water, success starts at C&G Sporting Goods. C&G specializes in fresh and saltwater fishing tackle, floundering supplies, spearfishing equipment, and much, much more. C&G also has licenses, maps, and expert advice on where to go. For over 59 years, C&G Sporting Goods has been the headquarters for the outdoorsman. Fishing, hunting, camping, guns, and ammo. They've got it all. C&G, home of the experts, downtown Panama City.
My name's Captain Rick Corley. I'm a SAMS accredited Marine Surveyor, NAMS certified Marine Surveyor, and IAME certified Marine Investigator. Been surveying since 1969. Was taught by my father, who is the oldest, longest practicing Marine Surveyor in the world. We do all types of survey, commercial or pleasure. Steel, aluminum, fiberglass, wood, makes no difference. Give us a call at 850-527-5287 or visit us online. We'd appreciate your business.
The greatest investment we can all make is in the lives of our children and grandchildren.
To help you invest for retirement, handle your IRA rollover, protect your family with life or long-term care insurance, call my dad for an appointment at his new office on Wilson Avenue behind Lowe's. And he'll give you a copy of his most recent book, 7 Steps to Serious Money. For free! Walter Woodrick, your serious money advisor!
Welcome back. We've been, Winston called me last minute because of the emergency with his family, and I don't want to forget to ask you to keep Winston and Gail and their family in your prayers as they deal with this difficult time over there. Winston puts heart and soul into this show, and I'll do anything I could to help him. He's been a good friend for a lot of years, and so I know I'm stumbling around a little bit this morning, but it was last minute, so I'm trying to bring some things that at least be a little bit informative to you. And one of the things that I get asked a lot is about, line and knots. And you do have to be pretty specific with, especially if you're using Power Pro like I do. I went to that years ago. It's a great line. There are things that you have to be aware of when you use it, though, because you can get into a situation with a lot of wind knots. Now, most of the time, I'm going to go down to the tackle store and I'm going to have those guys load the line on for me. But the one thing that's critical, and they all know how to do this, is you need to put a little bit of monofilament backing, as 8, 10 pound, whatever you've got, to get on that bare spool, because the Power Pro is coated, and most of these braided lines are coated, and it really slides and slips through there really quickly. And it'll spin on the spool. So you need to have them do that, or do it yourself. And now the Power Pro package, which I don't have with me this morning, they've got built a package to help you put tension on a line when you're putting it on your reel. And it does need to be put on with a lot of tension. And that's why I said, go to your local tackle shop, go see Brad out there at Sunjammers, or go over to Blue Water and let those guys put it on for you right, and you're not going to have as much problems. The other tip I would say with that is don't fill that spool completely. You need to leave about 1/8 of an inch at least lip on the spool. And if you've got that little bit of lip, it's going to help, because this stuff is so slick that it will wind knot bad if you don't have some space. The other thing about using it is when you make that cast, when that plug or whatever you're throwing is 2 or 3 feet from the water, just simply reach up and drop your bail down, and that will help a lot with the line continuing to feed off of there. It won't do it near as bad. And you really don't have a lot of problem with it if you take some precautions like that. Just know how to fish it. And the reason I fish it is because it's extremely durable. It's very strong. There's no stretch in this line whatsoever. And so you have to use a fluorocarbon leader, 2 or 3 feet of fluorocarbon leader when you're working the Power Pro, because that gives you a little bit of stretch. Because a hard straight line hit with just the Power Pro, it will break this way. Now, it's abrasion wise, you can fish it around pilings, not that it won't cut, but it's a lot stronger and it's a lot more sensitive. When you match it with a good rod, it's amazing what you can feel as you feel that bait work and you feel that bite starting to come on. Knots are different as well. When I first started using it, you can't use just a regular knot on that. I use what is called a uni knot, and you simply lay the line over, okay? Pull a loop and just go through 3 or 4 times. Pull it down, and you do the same thing on the other side with your Power Pro. This keeps you from having to use a leader. Keeps you from having to use a swivel. There's nothing wrong with swivels, but they have their applications, and I don't like to use them in the light line because it's rough on the guides if you happen to mess up and let it come all the way through. So you just simply put that same wrap on both sides. I don't know how well you can see it. There you go, Jeff. Great job. Pull it together. And now you've eliminated the leader, and I've never had this to fail on me, okay? I may make some mistakes with it, but I've never had it to fail. You can clip this off, write it, that you can have no tag in whatsoever showing. It's a great way for line to leader. And listen, I've talked my way through this. I'm out of time. Keep Winston in your prayers and his family, and we appreciate you watching and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.